Hello and welcome to Living Matters, our wonderful podcast. And today we are going to talk about the Women of the Year awards that Joanne and I attended last week.
We're super excited to be celebrating. We wanted to have this special episode with you so that you could share in the celebrations with Sarah. So Sarah, show us your award. I'm dying to see it.
Beautiful.
So this is the Woman of the Year Trailblazer
Feel how heavy
award. It is. Wow. Oh, God, it's beautiful.
It is gorgeous.
So it's literally about 2 weeks ago, I think, since you found out that you were getting the award, and just 1 week, isn't it, since you actually went to London. So tell us everything. Did you have any idea? So I know you knew that Joanne had nominated you, right? But you didn't know that you'd won.
I had no clue at all.
To be fair,
nothing.
can I just say, I wouldn't have even told Sarah that I nominated her. I would have had it one massive surprise. But when you nominate someone for this award, you have to let them know they've been nominated. So that's the only reason she even knew that part. Otherwise, she wouldn't have known anything at all.
I've got no idea how, with you two being as close as you are,
I don't know.
that it didn't actually come. Did you honestly have absolutely no clue? None.
I just
Well
thought
done,
that Joanne was really stressed about uni work and normal work and life in general.
Yeah.
So, but now looking back, I'm like, I don't know how she did it. I don't think I would have been able to do it with you.
I don't know how I did it.
You did avoid me more than
I did.
you usually do.
Not loads, but there was definitely a day a week where I was like, I would have to make an excuse not to see you because there was so much planning going on in the background to ensure that everything happened and everything went smoothly, and collaborating with ITV and all those things. So I had to, at times, like, not see you, and I would be giving you these excuses, and I was thinking she is totally going to call me out and say, what are you at? But I think because we had family over, Luke was here from Australia, there was a lot going on in our lives at that time. So somehow I managed to stay in disguise of all that when I was doing my avoidance of you. But the meeting you every day for our walks, that was the hardest. And it wasn't the big thing that I would have let slip. It was the small things to do with, like, my mum that flying over in secret, your friends flying in secret, mine. It was one of those conversations that I might have slipped up, like when your best friend Joanne phoned me to say she took my mum, the two aunties, and Sarah's other best friend Gail to the airport. And Sarah knew Joanne was coming because Joanne was part of helping me.
The ruse.
She was part of the ruse, she really was. Because having Joanne here made sure that I knew your every movement that day.
Yeah.
Which was perfect, which is what I needed. But you didn't know anybody else was coming. And then my mum lost her phone just as they were about to go through security, and Joanne had to leg it back to the car. And she phoned me on the way saying, your mother's lost her phone and I have to find the phone. And she was like crawling through the car and she found it underneath the seat. And it was that day I met you after I spoke to Joanne, and I nearly said, you'll never believe me, Mum. And then it would have been like, why is my mother coming over? It was those conversations. That's where I would have slipped up. It wasn't the big ones.
You must have just had to, like, keep checking yourself.
I
know I did as well. Just keep checking yourself that actually whatever it is that you're going to say isn't good.
Everything.
Especially, I think, at the point where, because Sarah started thinking, oh, well, we haven't heard from them, so it must be a no-go. You know, it must be a no-go. And that was awful, really, wasn't it? Because anyone who did know, and it was only a small group of people, was dying to try to lift your spirits, but couldn't.
I love that he's had a planning team.
We had a planning
So you could just debrief.
Set up a planning
That's
team,
class.
but even that was dangerous because we were meeting in secret, and then we would be talking about different conversations you had had with each of us. And then when we were in your company, you were trying to think,
Am I supposed
did I
to
hear
know
that
about
with
that?
the
Yeah.
So it was really hard. I found that hard, and when I got called out the book club in front of, like, there was 15 people there, and about 5 people within the group knew, and they all froze. And someone just said, well, did you never hear from Lorraine? And I was like, well, funny you should say that. No. I've sent a message to the girl I've been in contact with and I got her out of office. She must be on leave. So it's not a flat out no. It's a very much I still don't know, me lying through my teeth.
Yes.
So that was the Thursday. You were getting surprised on the Monday and I was thinking, we're so close. We're so close.
So,
Yeah.
but can I take us back to when you got the phone call to say that Sarah had
I couldn't even breathe. It was so funny because I was at work. I literally just finished a call. My phone was over here charging and it came through on my wrist like someone was ringing that I didn't know. And I glanced over and I thought, that's spam, I'm not taking it. And then something on me went, ITV. And I got up and I looked at it. And then she went, hello, Joanne, it's Lizzie from ITV. And I went, hello. And then she's talking and she was doing like the sad voice and I'm sorry we haven't been in touch with you and I'm holding my breath. Tell me, this is probably how people feel with me when I'm trying to tell a story because I have to like build it up.
Yeah, instead of just get to the point.
No, I can't get to the point. David will say to me all the time, is there a point to this? So anyway, as he's there telling me, talking me through in a wee sad sort of voice, and as you know, there was an awful lot, there was hundreds of applications and we had to take it down and we
So you feel like you're getting the letdown at this point.
I thought,
yeah.
Oh, I don't believe it. I'm going to get told she didn't get it. But still, somewhere in my gut, I was thinking, because throughout this, I had this really strong sense, I think Sarah's going to win this. And particularly after I spoke to ITV for a good 40 minutes and on top of the nomination. And I don't mean this in a big headed way, but I knew the nomination was good because of the content that you were able to, because of what you're doing in the community and in Sarah's Star and the death cafes and the podcast. Like you're covering an awful lot of areas. So there was so much content for me to be able to even write about in the nomination. So when I read it back, I thought, no, that is good. Come on. Come on.
Patting yourself in the back. Well done, me.
No, listen, I wrote it right. And then I said to Claude, AI, can you please just refine that?
I love it.
So
AI nominated me?
No, I nominated you. All AI did was just make it a little bit more
team effort.
It was team effort.
It was me. I'm not. I shouldn't even told you about AI. But it's just like it just refines it that way as a wee bit more finesse, let's say.
Yeah.
So I knew that was good, and I knew after I spoke to Elsie because I made sure that she wouldn't forget me. I carried on with her.
I don't think anybody forgets you.
I would have done that anyway because it's just my way with people. But I mean, me and her was creased laughing. You know, we got on well, and I was really, really driving home all the wonderful things about you. And I was saying, I'm not just saying this because she's my sister. Mm-hmm. She's sunshine in human form. Go and look at her socials. Go and have a nosy, and you will see for yourself what we see. And then she was like, I've been right the way through the socials. I've looked at the podcast and I was like, well, there's no way they're doing all that if it's not for nothing. So when so then weeks went by, maybe definitely 3, and I was thinking, when are we going to hear? When are we going to hear? And so she was doing the whole, and as you know, and it had to do this and we had to do that, and then it got down to 15 and that went through to a judging panel. And she says, and it was really tough competition, and I was going,
you're killing me yet?
And then she said, but I'm absolutely delighted to tell you that your sister Sarah Harrison is Lorraine Kelly's Woman of the Year. And I was like,
you're like, oh yeah, I want to ring Sarah. Don't.
I was like, oh my God. And then she was saying the way you spoke about your sister, and then she made me cry, and I was like, oh, I can't cope. And then we talked about next steps, and it was the filming in secret, them coming here to film. And we talked about dates. And then as he was going off on annual leave, so she gave me contact of another executive producer in ITV, Louise. And her and Mark, the cameraman, came up and we filmed here in secret.
Yeah.
And we filmed at Sarah's Star, and we got some of the lovely people that use Sarah's Star. Got all them lined up to interview, but I mean the level of planning that we put into this.
It was huge.
So good.
And do you know what was really funny? Because like shortly after Joanne found out that you won, she rang me, and I was lying at home, relaxing on the settee, like, and watching the telly or something. The phone rang, and Joanne's like, "She's won," and I burst into tears.
Aww.
And Josh, my little one, jumped up. What's wrong?
He did.
And I went, "She's won!" like this, and Joanne's going, you can't tell anyone. No one's allowed to know.
Top secret, Nikki. Top secret.
And Josh was going, yeah, she's won. I went, no, actually, I misunderstood. She hasn't won. She's through to the final.
No, I was like, Nikki is top
oh, okay. But I'm like, streaming. He's going, you're really upset that she's through to the final. I was like, yes, but we should find out soon.
I know, it was so hard. So hard.
It was just so exciting because I think for all, like, you've obviously done the nomination, and for all of these a million reasons, but it's a million reasons that everyone else feels and sees and has experienced with you as well. So like everyone was just gunning for it. Like
they really were.
Do you know what I've loved about this is the ripple effect that this has had. Like how happy I walked into the doctor's surgery for like the flu jab, and as I walked in the door I was on the phone to my mum, and she's talking and talking away, and the receptionists, their faces lit up and they were going and I was like, I couldn't get off the phone. I was like, no, but Mum, seriously, I really need to go, because I was ignoring people who were like,
But didn't actually someone drove past you too the other day?
Oh, that was really funny.
No, I noticed. I seen like just like a man and woman driving by in the car, and I seen him going, there's them two girls. Like he looked at him, and he was pointing out the window, and I says to Sarah, we've just been recognised.
But the car went round the corner, and then the windows all went down, and they were just going, these were amazing!
That's amazing. That's amazing.
These were brilliant girls. And me and her that are going, yay, yes!
So we know, we've talked about the nomination, like getting the nomination in, Joanne finding out, and then and her head nearly exploded, and then on with the planning team and getting everyone rallied around, right? But what about you? So you didn't know.
No clue.
How on earth did it feel walking through that door at the Linskill Centre?
Do you know, it's such a shock, and I think the main shock is this giant camera is nearly in your face.
They were worried about that, you know.
And like,
yeah.
And I think it's the confusion as well of how are all these people from Ireland here? And then I think my mind did this almost protection thing where I was literally naming where people were from when I seen their faces. So I was like, Strabane, Leeds, Newcastle.
Where am I? Oh yeah.
Me here, Linskill Centre. And I just... Yeah. I think it was a protection thing. Do not just freak out. But when I've watched it back, because I instantly think I forgot everything though. Because when I watched it back, I was really laughing. It looks like I'm trying to get back out the door.
You were. Mark's trying to turn you around. You were. I think you were so like,
okay, bye.
And I could see him turn you around.
He totally did.
It really
and it was like a little step. I felt like a wee old lady. I did a little step back round again.
So what was can you remember what was going through your mind at the point where like everyone's
clearly
places that people are from,
yeah.
No, but then I was like, oh my god, but I just said to Alex in the room, so we were just sitting having a chat and that, and she said, oh, Emma's sorting everything out with the cameras and that, and I was like,
oh, we need to explain.
Yeah, this was so the ruse was that I was filming some content for our social media. So that's why I was like, I had my outfit on, my makeup was done, and so that, do you know what I mean? There was no reason for me not to. And then...
That was a very clever ruse.
Yeah, very, very clever.
Fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we were very proud of that. It
was so good. And then I do think now, looking back, I obviously caught Alex off guard because I was like, I didn't know Emma was coming. And then she was like, oh yeah, she was always coming. I just think we forgot to tell you.
So Emma and Alex
was really nice.
They're from the Access team, weren't they? And they were coming in on a charity day to do the content, they film, and they just like help with all the socials.
I was dead excited that Emma was there because I didn't think she was going to get to come along, because what they did was, because I'd met some of the other guys from the Access group, they'd told me that no one else that I knew was coming, just in case I happened to contact one of the other guys, because Merlin did the he was videoing the last time.
We had all bases
all you covered. I cannot believe
planning team,
the contingencies in place.
We were thinking ahead all the time.
We have to get it out of the house for Sunday night. So Joanne's going to have to organise the best friend's going to have to organise a B&B. So she's out the house so that then Joanne can go and tell Chris and the kids.
Because we have to let Chris and the kids know last minute because we can't.
It has to be that Sarah's
to
properly dressed with makeup on so that she feels good, so that she doesn't look like she's just rolled out of bed.
That's what I was going to say. That is why I felt bad. So number one, they did want to do it on your doorstep, and I just was like, no, there's too many things that I can't control.
Could you imagine if I was having a day where the kids were like, I don't want to go to school?
Sarah, I know. Well, that's what we talked about. I was like, I am not having that. So I said to ITV, it's not happening on our door. We're going to do it at the Linskill, and we formed the plan. But then when you were saying to me, because I'm getting all this social media content created, she was like, I'm standing here now trying to put together different outfits so I can change my clothes. So for the social media, it looks like it's all been done on different things, and I was thinking, oh my God, she's there putting together all these outfits and for no reason. But as well, we even
flat to the mat ironing, and I don't even iron.
I know, Sarah. I was like,
I'll do for later.
I feel so bad. And then the other thing was as well, to even say to the Access group, listen, by the way, though, all that stuff still needs done. So can you get another charity day?
Yeah. That's it. That's it, because I know in the morning, didn't Alex say, you said something like, oh, they're going to be talking about who's announcing the winner, the woman of the year, and she was like, ugh, just trying to change the subject.
Well, she made a funny noise, and it was, because I said out there, I was like, oh, do you know, they're meant to announce woman of the year this week, and she did this weird like, huh? And I was thinking, that's a really weird noise. But again, was just
she
like...
she was responsible for like doing the walk up to the room where everybody was waiting. She was so nervous. She was brilliant, but she was so nervous.
Do you know what made me laugh though? Now,
I've never seen Alex as quiet.
Yeah.
Never seen her as quiet.
In hindsight, I was like... I got up and I had like a notepad and a pen and my water bottle in my hand. And Joanne took my water bottle. Lucy took my pen. So then I lifted my coffee and my phone. Yeah. And then Lucy took my phone off me. And I was a bit like...
Why is everybody...
I can carry things. And then Alex tried to take my coffee away. And I was like, no. And she was going, but do you really need it? And I was like, yes, I do. So off we went. And when I opened the door, I don't even know how she did it. As I did that, she got the coffee off me. And I thought, thank God, because I think I would have threw it around Mark. Mark scalded. Bad TV.
So you're walking in, and like, when did it actually hit you that this is like, was that one of your first thoughts? Like,
I think when he said, he was like, I do think I just went like shut down, and then kind of came to and was a bit like, what's happening? Mm-hmm. Then when he said, watch this, and they had it up, that gave me a minute. But I was still like looking around the room and being like, what is going on?
I know, because I said to ITV, it's not just the shock of Sarah's one and the camera in her face. It's the shock that all our family has managed to be over here in secret, and they were in secret locations around North Shields and Watley Bay and secret hotels and all, even to the point where Sarah drove to the airport to collect Joanne, and my David was sitting in a car park around the corner while my mum, my two aunts and Gail had to hide in the airport, and Joanne had to say the coast is clear and David had to drive round for Emily Margaret.
This was like military precision. Honestly,
military.
You could get one of the top jobs in the military.
I definitely, I agree.
I'm sure I was joking with ITV and saying to them, do you not want to give me a wee job? But we did. But the planning team, our planning team we have, me, you, Jolene, Sarah T,
and Lucy.
Lucy.
Yeah.
I think that we all brought different things to the table, which was brilliant. I love that. And even down to what we did was you created the project brief, and where we were reminding the people at you, Sarah Star, just of the missions and the values. Not that they needed to be reminded, but what we were trying to say to them was, you're going to be asked very pointed questions, so just take a little bit of time to prepare. We wanted them to, come across well on camera, and we knew that they would, but nothing. They surpassed my expectations. They did us so proud.
Oh, they were amazing.
unbelievably proud.
It's such a gorgeous
I just
VT,
lay on the
that's-
sofa in Sarah Star because obviously I was there when everybody did their filming, like organising, sorting, making sure we had permissions, you know, for all the
Yes.
locations, all those things, all that was prepped and ready. And obviously, Nikki, we came here and did yours, and it was so funny because she was asked one question, and we were told you'll be asked a question, and what you have to do. So, say for example,
Why do you think Sarah deserves the award?
so you had to
You'd
say,
have to say
Sarah deserves the award.
You'd have to like do the full sentence. So that's what they
So Nikki was, well, the very first question, Nikki was brilliant, did it, remembered to do, Sarah deserves it, but then she forgot to stop talking. Do you remember that?
I had my thing prepared in my head.
And you're like, I need to get it out.
And actually, because I was caught a bit off guard because there was what I thought I was supposed to be saying as a trustee.
That's right.
Right.
And I
That's not what you were asked.
And then I wasn't asked that. So when she asked me the question, my monologue came out.
And Dad, it was so funny. And she was like, oh, that's really good stuff, but you were meant to stop talking because, you know, they must do it and show.
Yeah. I love it.
I'm like, yeah, you can just edit it. It's fine.
It was funny. And I think we all had a bit of something because for me, I thought, oh, I'll be fine. I'll be able to do it. But what I wasn't prepared for was the fact that I had to watch everybody else do theirs first. And it was a really emotional day. And when I was in Sarah Star, and the people that got interviewed that used the facilities and used Sarah Star and how they spoke about you, I lay on the sofa in Sarah Star crying, silently crying while they were all being filmed.
Because everyone's talking about the impact and the fact you've changed their life, which is obviously why you're getting the award. But to hear the personal accounts of it was something else, really.
I said to you, if you went through your lifetime and someone said about you those compliments and how you affected them, the impact you've had in their life, how you've changed it, if someone said 1/10 of what was said that day, you would be absolutely delighted. But the amount of just praise and it was so poignant to me, the way that you have changed them people's life. And I know that, but to hear them say like that.
What was it like for you to hear that?
Do you know, it's really surreal because I had a real... Who are they talking about?
That's because you've always had imposter syndrome.
Who's this person? I even did that when I was on the stage. Like I was and I did that thing, or I should probably save this for later, but...
We'll get to that, yes, we'll get to that on the stage later. But...
Yeah, but I had a real moment of, not imposter syndrome as such, but a variation of it, but we'll talk about it because we'll go through the process.
I think you go about doing what you do.
I don't think
very
about
natural.
it.
That's what I mean. It's very natural. You don't actually think about it. Just when you're in that moment with that person that you're helping, you're just being your natural self. But what they spoke about, some of the people that were on camera, was through having natural conversations with you about their illness, you are able to tap into them on such a personal level that you can tailor what you think that is on offer within Sarah Star, which classes, sound baths, Reiki, whatever it might be, you will make a suggestion, a gentle suggestion.
Yeah.
You're not telling them what to do, and that's what they said.
Yeah.
It's a gentle, do you know what I think might really benefit and help you? And you might say a sound bath or some of the Reiki or some of the arts and crafts.
Yeah.
Like you will tap into, I think this person really could do with that. And when they've tried it, I suppose they were a bit sort of taken aback by how right you got it.
I think it's I think that's right. But I also, the thing I picked up on what they were saying was that they're like sort of flabbergasted in a way that you, with everything that you've got going on in your personal life and what you're dealing with, that you would care.
Yeah.
But like care so much and like genuinely invest your time to sit down and nothing's rushed. You're there for the people.
Yeah.
That's right.
You know?
But it's
Isn't it
because I
amazing?
know what that is like to feel like you've lost a bit of your identity almost. And I think because because I created Sarah Star the way that I have, and I've always wanted it to be just a really comfortable place for people to come, I was always really surprised when people email and say, I'm really nervous. But it's because I'm in there. So I had to start thinking about that. What's going to help people not to be nervous? And I realised it's by giving them one-on-one time. And I think that's how, and I still think everybody would do that. Yeah. I think giving someone your time and having a conversation, you can figure out what it is that they need, you know, in that. And I really love that. I think it was Jenny said she knew what I wanted.
That's right.
Before I did. And I was thinking, a lot of me does think that that's because I know I've been there and what might have been really nice for me at that time. So that's
what it is. It's you are there from experience.
Honestly, like amazing.
You're coming from a place of experience, and that's what they said as well. There's nothing. Some of them said they talked to you about things that they weren't able to talk to anybody else about, and were able to have this very honest conversation with you about how they were really feeling, and they laughed with you, they cried with you, and there wasn't. You were not shocked by anything that was said to you.
Yeah.
So there was all that, and then Jenny also said what she couldn't believe was, with all that you've got going on, you landed to her house with vouchers for like to go, and she was just like, who is this woman? Who does this?
She's going round the doors.
I know. But we know this about you. We know that this is the kind of thing that you do. I suppose that's another one of your amazing qualities that makes you, I don't know, special and able to tap
Woman of the year, like.
And this is like one, and I know I've said it before, but the nomination was easy to write because of all that you do. And I've got to give my colleague Jill a shout out, by the way, because Jill was off work poorly and she was watching Lorraine, and it came up and she messaged me straight away with a link and said, you need to nominate your Sarah for this. So
well
if
Jill,
if Jill hadn't been off that day, I don't know that I would have saw it.
Yeah.
Because I'm at work, do you know what I mean?
I've seen it, yeah.
I don't know that I would have saw it, and I wouldn't have put in. So I've got to give her a big shout out.
You see, women supporting women.
Yes.
Hashtag women supporting women. Yes, yes.
Totally.
So how did it feel then? Hearing the stories and hearing like the emotional accounts of people.
And I did think, like, are they really talking about me? And it's that real. And still, I'm a bit like, because Joanne was like, she just went, just shut up now, because we went for a walk after that. And I was going, I'm still wondering what it is I do to deserve this. And she was like, oh, shut up.
I'm like, no, come on, Sarah, come on.
But it's just, I do think I'm still a bit in a state of shock. And because it's been a whirlwind, so the surprise, then like family going back to Ireland, just busy, normal life, kids, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Clubs, and then down to London. And
so fill us in then. What happened with the London trip? I know
wait a minute, though, we've got to mention too, though, after the surprise. We managed to get into the glass house. They were able to take, how many of us was there, Sarah? Like 20 or 26 or something?
There was a lot of us.
There was a lot, like there was at least 50 that was in the room for the surprise that morning, and ITV actually had to say to me, Joanne, this is the most we have ever had.
Yeah.
How are you managing to keep her
And we had Uncle Liam.
We had Uncle Liam online. Yes.
I was standing.
And Auntie Fiona.
Listen, Liam, I spoke to Liam on Sunday and he said to me to thank you because you were so good taking him around the room. And he said, even though him and Fiona were in Nashville, because they would have been there in person.
And it was like 4 o'clock in the morning or something.
It was 4 o'clock in the morning. They said that they really felt part of the day.
Oh, see, that's
good. They were delighted.
Yeah.
They were so happy. Because I knew Liam was going mad that he was away for all of it.
Oh, and what was so lovely was like really into it. You brought it over the first one. They got to see real reaction as well.
I did my husband say, he said, I saw you on the news, but you're the only one with your phone videoing everything. And I said, I wasn't videoing everything. I've got Uncle Liam from Nashville on Faced.
You're like, I had a very important job.
Because you can see they're on the BT. You can see the two of them.
Yeah, because I came up and showed you.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you thought I was trying to show you a picture of yourself or something like that. And then you're like, oh, Fiona.
Oh,
But
that was
good.
lovely.
That was lovely.
It was really
Yeah.
lovely.
It was.
And then so we managed to get in the glass house, and bless them, they just took the lot of us.
Oh, they did.
And it was a bit mayhem, wasn't it? Because we had all the kids off school. Because
They couldn't go back after
thought
that.
it was so important to have the kids there
Yeah.
to see, look at what your mum and your auntie's done. Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
I really
it's
wanted
lovely.
them there. And they were so emotional, some of
I
them.
know.
My Isaac cried his eyes out. You can see him on camera. And everybody was so proud.
It was so,
And then-
everyone was
Oh,
so
really
yeah.
lovely.
And
All the kids are like,
the atmosphere in the room that morning, Haywood totally reminded me, I honestly forgot about this. So our nerves were wrecked, absolutely wrecked, trying to keep 50 people quiet, particularly, come on, our Irish lot.
Yep, impossible.
And all our friends are sort of the same sense of humour, and it was like, please keep the noise down. She's in the Landskill, keep the noise down. Or Brian
The
was
eagle
being,
has landed.
Brian was
Yeah, it
being a
was.
tyrant. He kept talking out loud. I was going, what? Do you want her to hear you? But unbeknown to me, Mark Hayes and our Brian were like in cahoots. But Brian would get caught by me and get scolded, and Mark was there killing himself because he and him and Brian were carrying on. So there was so much nervous energy in the room as the time
yeah.
was getting nearer and nearer. And I just remember I was standing there and I started to get really nervous. So I started dancing, but then I started doing, turn the radio up for that sweet sound, really quiet. And Angela started to join me and we started dancing. And we
Yes,
led this
yeah.
silent dance throughout the room, but it was really good because everybody expelled their nervous energy just by doing this silent
totally
dancing.
need it.
And I totally forgot that it even happened. But Haywood was there. And then we met him the next day and he goes, do you remember you led the silent dance? I was like, oh my God, I forgot. My nerves were so wrecked. I totally forgot that I did that. But that's a really fond memory too.
Yes.
Because when I think about looking around the room and all of us
Yes.
is there silent dancing. Ooh,
You could see
trying to
people
get-
shaking
Yeah.
it off. It was just this.
I was going to kill
Crazy
Brian
girl.
because how my mother kept banging under the table with all the balloons and
Oh,
your cake, and I
God.
was like, "Can you get away from the table?" There was so many things, but we went to the glass house and we had a fabulous
We
time.
did.
And I had the speaker and we put on the music and a lot of daddy songs because my
Did.
dad has been. We've really felt him through it all this, haven't we?
Oh, he's been so in the forefront of
He
all our minds, really.
massively, and it's probably too because his anniversary is in November. But just
Yeah.
like because he would have been unbelievably proud.
He would have loved
So
all
I
this.
loved us all being in the glass house, and obviously my dad's two sisters were there, and they all had the same taste in music.
Yeah.
And we had the tunes on, and everybody was singing.
And the sun was shining because we sat outside
sat
for the
outside,
first while.
and I just remember looking around and thinking, this is like
Priceless.
such a
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
and all
beautiful.
the kids were there, and they were so good.
They were.
like the whole time.
The kids did
What
really
were you
well.
thinking, like, during the... Because, like, say that's fast forward 4 hours or something like that from when you've had your big surprise.
Do you know
So
I had to go home and just sit down for half an hour.
That was after the meal he did.
Yeah, because it got a bit.
Overwhelming.
There was no time to digest anything, and I thought, God, I want to appreciate this and not just let it run away with me. Plus, everybody had started on the drink, and I don't drink anymore,
Yeah.
and it becomes quite quickly, that because we've all been there and done that. The drunker people get, the more they love you. And the more headlocks I was being got in, and the more I was thinking, I don't think anybody's going to be happy until I'm lying paralysed on the floor.
So did you think, I'm just going to go home and do some my Zen days meditation
I
for like
only
20
took it.
minutes?
I did actually that night because me and Joanne left and we took my mum and Emily home. But even that, I was like, they were staying at the Premier Inn.
Yeah.
I'm sitting outside Whitley Bay Premier Inn wondering why they're not getting out of the car. Because they were at the Royal Keys Premier Inn, that's why. I says to my mother, is this your hotel? And she went, I don't know, is it? I was like, I don't know.
I don't know, is it?
And then we were laughing. She was like, oh, sorry, Sarah, I thought you knew. And then she just went on telling a story and I was laughing because it was, do you know what I mean? It was just part of, she was still talking about the events of the day. Mm-hmm. And I think it's...
After the restaurant, I booked the karaoke room. And we just went and we ended up about 4 hours in this karaoke room, just belting
very
out the
funny.
tunes.
Well, with 2 broken mics.
Well,
one actually
One
worked.
broke, but we still made it.
We still made it.
work.
We made it
yes. We did.
It was good fun.
But it was good fun until,
And it was nice to
until
see-
Sarah started to
yeah.
get put in a headlock and all, and then it was time for her to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a headlock of love.
It is. Many headlocks of love, but then it was like, but we were all, that
Everybody
night,
was so full of.
adrenaline, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
I couldn't, when we went to the last house, I couldn't even eat.
Well,
I couldn't
that's
even
it.
eat.
Yeah.
I was so like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then that night,
Because
I never
you held
slept.
it for so long.
I
as
think
well.
that's what it was.
And I was laughing because when we were out and that, there was times where I was thinking, oh, I need to go. And then I was like, I actually think, or Joanne needs this. She needs a blowout because she's contained it all
Yeah.
for so long.
Yeah.
But even the next day, when we got everybody, all the Irish ones together to get the taxi back to the airport. And she says to me, has a number been ringing you? And I was like, aye, but I didn't know it, so I didn't answer it. And she was like, it's Mark. And it was Mark from ITV.
Okay.
Right. And he phoned and I chatted to him for about 10 or 15 minutes, filled him in on everything that we did after that. He was so invested. He was gutted that he
So
wasn't.
good, isn't he?
Oh, he's
It's like we've
amazing.
adopted him and he's our older brother now.
It was hilarious too though, because they had phoned me that morning. So I was staying in an apartment with Angela, my best friend, and I'm there doing my makeup, and the phone rings and it's him, and I put him on speaker, and I'm there, and she's lying in the bed watching me, going, "Really, Joanne? Is this how it is now? There she is doing her makeup with Mark Hayes on speaker, me chatting with him. I Mark, well, I would wear jumpsuits, and I would wear, and here I am."
So after that, and then Mark rang me and he was talking then about clothes and stuff and he was trying to get ideas of what kind of things we like to wear. And then
Tell him what you said. Tell Nikki what you said. You should have asked her, Joanne, because she
I
dresses
said
me.
I was like, to be fair, generally, he was like, well, what do you pick when you go shopping? I was like, well, I don't. Joanne goes into a shop and then she rings me and says, I seen this, I think you really like it. And I say, I just get it.
If she's got a
Like, she's my personal
if she
shopper.
If she has a special event, she really stresses me out because she doesn't really look. She's just like, I don't know what I'll wear. So when she was going to the Buckingham Palace, for example, to the garden party,
Joanne was worried sick about what I was going to wear.
I was flat out on that internet looking. I was saying to her, "Have you found anything yet?" No. And I thought,
Haven't even
I'm going to kill her. So anything like that, even wedding, if we're going to a wedding, it's me. I order everything for her. So it was funny. She says to me, "Oh, you probably just should have asked her, Joanne, really." So it was me sent all the photos of all the things that she's been in.
Ah, right.
Yeah, and then that was lovely. And he was like, Joanne has sent me a few ideas but all that was really nice because it almost felt like aftercare as well. Like he kept checking in, and Izzy checked in as well.
As did ITV were fabulous. Lorraine
amazing.
Kelly's people were amazing.
They were unreal, and it was really funny as well because like you'd be out with a friend or I'd be with the kids, and they're like, "Who's ringing you?" I'm like, "It's ITV. Don't worry about it."
Sarah, that was happening to me for the month. And there was even times, where I was lying, maybe exhausted or whatever. Look, it's ITV, I have to answer. Hello. Dave would be like, "Who's that?" ITV. Hello. So I was funny.
So it's become like a running joke to the point where the other day our front door knocked and I was sitting in my pajamas. I was having a full-on PJ day.
See, that was what I was scared of, which is why I didn't want them surprising you in the door.
Well, Alice went, "Mum, there's somebody at the door," and I was like, "Oh, go on, you get it." And she went, "Why? Who do you think it is?" ITV. It's like,
Alice is brutal.
no, we've been there and done that. She literally gave me a period of time where I was allowed to be delighted.
Feel good about it.
Well, I know, she didn't really. It's just her sense of
She
humor.
is amazing.
Literally the day
she's really
after.
pretty.
And I said something about it, and I hadn't seen her because I'd stayed with Joanne in the hotel, and then I came back and they came home from school, so I just mentioned something about it, and she went, "We're still talking about this."
Do you know as well?
It only happened.
I know.
Like,
I know.
I know. Make my tea.
She wouldn't give you an inch. When I went over to tell Chris and the two kids, I was going to kill Chris, by the way, right? So obviously they knew nothing. I knew Sarah.
And rightly so.
Sarah was out of the way. She was in the hotel. Chris and Alice were at cheer. I sent him a message at 7:30 and said, "Chris, are you back from cheer?" He said, "I've just got in the door." I nipped to the loo and I came back. There was another message saying, "Joanne, if you're looking for Ethan's water bottle, it's not here. Joanne, I'll just ring Sarah." And I was like, "Oh my God, like, I've only went to the toilet and you're ringing her already. And I was like, I'm pretty good. I mean, minutes. Like, it wasn't even.
She fell down.
So anyway, I goes over with my two, because my two boys didn't know, because I thought, well, I can't, none of the kids can know.
Yeah.
And then as well, though, Dylan knew that they were coming to Newcastle, Brian's Dylan,
yes.
and Kat was petrified that Dylan was going to let slip on the buddy, like they are on
Game.
calls all the time gaming. She was petrified Dylan would say, we're coming to Newcastle tomorrow. Because then all our kids would be like, well, why?
Yeah.
Imagine that length of time keeping it, and
I
then
know.
the day before.
She kept going up and saying, Dylan, please remember, you can't say you're going to Newcastle. So when I went over then, I turned my phone on because I wanted to video the moment I told Chris and the kids for Sarah, do you see?
Yes, right.
Because I thought that's a special moment. So I came in and I put the video on, I put it up on the mantelpiece, and I said, right, now that I have these all together, and Alice goes, what is it? Has someone died? And I was like, no! And I thought, and then she's going, I think I know what this is. And then she said something, because I was thinking, if she outs me, if she now says that she won Lorraine, I'm going to kill her and she's going to ruin my big moment. But no, I managed to get to tell them all. And it was amazing. But to be honest, I don't really think the kids fully understood how big a deal it was until the next day when they were down and all the TV crew and all were there. I think it sort of started to dawn on them, oh, this is a big moment.
So what have they said to you since?
Oh, Charlie's been like, I'm really proud of you. Actually, Alice has as well, just like cuddling in. And I think they're a bit in disbelief as well, because when they watched it on the TV on Monday, and obviously I wasn't there, and Chris said they were just like saying to him, we're so proud of Mum. And I think that's really lovely.
And their friends at school and all, and the teachers.
Yeah, the teacher had said to Charlie, we can put it on, at school and that, but he didn't want and you'll notice too, he actually he's not on camera.
Him and Ethan.
Really, he stood back. But
it's
then
funny,
there was
Ethan and Dylan are in the corner with David,
whereas
and then Isaac, Joseph and Alice are up on camera, like.
Yeah.
That's just about sums them up, actually, doesn't it?
But there was a really lovely moment where they just stopped filming and Charlie literally came and gave me
Sarah was
the most beautiful embrace.
Video.
I was.
We
I
don't
tried
have it.
to,
I don't know who.
I've got like a squillion video. every
I was
waking
really
moment.
gutted that I didn't get that. I tried to, and I couldn't get the.
And he
because I was like, oh.
It was really beautiful. He did, and he was just like, I'm just so proud of you. And it was just a big bear hug, and it was beautiful.
That's amazing. And what about Chris? What's Chris said?
Chris
was
just
buzzing when I told him. He was
so buzzing. Do you know what was lovely? He said, I wasn't nervous, being on the TV, or when they said they wanted me to say a few words. He said I wasn't nervous because I already know how amazing you are.
Oh.
And it's only fair that everybody else knows as well. And I just thought that's really beautiful.
Do you know what he said to me? He said on the day, just after the surprise, and he went, so does this make me Man of the Year? And I went, no. I said, it makes you Mr. Woman of the Year.
I don't want that title.
There's a lot of that going on in my house.
Yes,
Charlie's like Teenager of the Year, Boy of the Year.
I know. So, right, so where are we up to in the story then?
So now we get to, on the Friday, I goes out a walk.
Yes.
And I had a phone call from Izzy from ITV, and then she was like going through a few bits. And then she mentioned to me, we think we'll get Joanna on the sofa as well. So I just was like,
the tables are turning. The surprise is
I
going to go the other way.
I thought she's totally got me back there.
yeah. So, but I thought, part of me thought, I think that's really, really lovely and only fitting when you're getting a makeover as well. I thought that's really, really nice. But I didn't want you to get into your head about it either. So I thought it's nicer to have it as a surprise.
I'll tell you what I did nearly get in my head about. So when they told me that morning, oh, actually, Joanne, you're going on the TV as well, I was like, oh my God, what? And don't get me wrong, right? When I first spoke to Izzy, that very first time, and she was talking about, no, it must have been after she told me you won. And I was saying, because when I nominated you, people were saying, oh my God, if Joanne and Sarah get on the sofa, there'll be a spin-off, they're going to have their own show and all this. And there was loads of people taking the mic, right? So I had said this to Izzy, carrying on, and she went, Joanne, you're not getting on the sofa. And I went, what? She goes, you're not on the sofa. She was like, you'll be allowed to be in the wings. And I went, Izzy, I'm not really a wing woman. I was like, I want on the sofa. Because at the time, I didn't fully understand, how
They
it
don't
worked.
normally, yeah.
I just didn't understand. So I was carrying on. And then she was like, yeah, Joanne, you'll not be allowed on the sofa. And I was like, well, fair enough. And then the planning team, Sarah T found last year's winner, didn't she? And there was a VT. And when I watched the VT, I was like, yes, it is not appropriate for me to be on that sofa. So I'd said, Daisy, oh, listen, I understand now. And that's not appropriate.
It's not the done
So
thing.
actually, that was it. I never mentioned it again. So I did not expect to be on the sofa.
Yeah.
And then that morning when they said, right, Joanne, you're going to be on the TV as well, I was like, Jesus, am I? And then, so they were like, we're going to just do like a little walk through. So we were doing a practice run.
Yeah.
We all had to be in our places and everything. And they were like, Joanne, you're going to be standing here. And then when we did give you the nod, you're going to walk through. And there's 2 steps you have to go up. And I was thinking, oh, no. Watch to see. I'm going to show myself up because I knew whatever I'd be wearing, I was going to be wearing heels.
Yeah.
And I don't wear heels. I am always in trainers. Not since pre-COVID.
Oh,
God,
yeah.
people just stop wearing them. So I'm in these big heels and I thought, oh, Jesus, I'm going to show myself up. I'm going to fall up them stairs. I'll be splat out in Lorraine.
On live TV.
On live TV.
Sitting on Lorraine's knee.
And I thought, I'm going to show myself up. And do you know what she says? Oh, well, even if you did that, anyway, we get more traction. I was like, Sarah!
Bloopers.
That would be good for TikTok, actually, wouldn't it?
So I was that pleased that I managed to get up the steps and on the sofa. And the sofa actually, for a tall person,
It's very low.
it's really low. So
Yeah.
And it looks really small.
very
I felt
low.
like my knees were up here.
Aye.
And then I didn't know what to do with my feet because it was so low. And because the heels are that size, I was like, oh, I don't know what way I look on this sofa. But
Well, you look great. I mean, you both look great on the sofa.
Oh, it was so
we
lush.
loved the makeover. Didn't
Oh,
we?
it was so good. And Mark phoned on the Friday. And so after Izzy phoned, Mark phoned. And I was just laughing because I was along with Jolene and Sarah out for a walk. And Mark came on the phone and then he went, right, I'm just going to change this to FaceTime so you can see. And the sun was blinding. So we're going about, and reception's not great down the coast.
Yeah.
We're going about trying to find somewhere. And then we're sitting in the little clock tower. And I've one of them on each shoulder. And Mark's going through reels of clothes. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? What do you think? And I had a real moment where I was like, this is mental. And them two were like, oh, like that. Oh, yes.
So was
And I
the
just
dress an option at this point?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I seen
You
it.
weren't
The
able to
dress
see
is-
it fully.
No,
were you?
and it was still very sunny. So, but what was so lovely about that was he said, I'm so glad I got to do this because I wouldn't have settled over the weekend because I started thinking, what if I've got her style completely wrong and she doesn't like
so
anything
lovely.
that's in this. And it's that, and I think that was the kind of running thing throughout all of this was how down to earth and normal all of these people are.
And
I
how much they
think-
want to support you in
Yeah,
the process.
they
wasn't
really
it?
did.
yeah, and that's what it was, and that's what Izzy had said to me on the phone. All that we care about is that 1, you're comfortable, and 2, this is about celebrating this achievement.
They were brilliant.
And they
at
just
that.
were
And
so lovely.
when Louise and Mark came to do the filming in secret, and Louise, like I had said to Louise, I'm gutted mind that I can't get to go to the ceremony with her. I would love to see my sister up on the stage, getting that award, her doing her speech. I was like, that is huge to me to see her
Well,
do
and it
that.
must, it would have been a really different experience if you'd just
Very
gone
different.
off on your own.
Really
It
different
would have been
because
really hard, actually.
Yeah.
Even for someone who hasn't got an incurable illness, I'm confident I would have found it hard to walk in and just try and start mingling.
and to try and
Especially when
approach
you're the
people.
star of the
But
show.
not only that, no, but Nikki, when there's
It's-
loads of celebrities there, you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God.
And then
like,
people are saying, use this as an opportunity. So
That's right.
I was a bit like, because the first person we seen that, other than like Lorraine, we met Gloria Honeyford, who was just gorgeous, and she was holding on to my arm, like
I
she
came
was
round the
so
corner.
lovely.
I came round the corner,
was singing
right,
at her.
and my red jumpsuit had just been all done. And I come round, and she just comes round the bottom of the corner. I met Mo Milligan first, by the way. Mo Milligan was lovely. He was just chilled as, yeah, get your photo. And he's like, ah, peace out, man. He was looking at it and all. And I'm standing there. And I was going, could you wait there to get your photo with my sister? She's Woman of the Year and all. And he was like, well, I was just about to change my clothes. So if you can get her. But anyway, we couldn't make that happen. She was back on makeup again. But I round the corner and Gloria comes at the bottom corner and I'm like, Gloria, Gloria. And I'm dancing.
Poor wee
down.
Gloria. I thought she knew her.
Because as well,
Does she get that a lot?
I'm so...
Probably not.
But I'm all done up and I can see her looking as if to say, am I meant to know this girl? Me.
But she took it well. She was so
was
lovely.
No bother holding on to
she
Sarah
looks
for
like a
granddad.
really-
Then she looked and she was like, I love your dress. Mark, make that into a suit for me.
Mark, do you have a minute? No, Mark, I need you. Mark, you know this dress. This is her. But the person from ITV was going, you two are needed on set. And I was like, you're going to have to wait. We need her photo with Gloria Hunniford. And she was like, we're on live TV. You're needed on set. I was like, just 1 second. Sarah, quick, take the photo. Someone take the photo. Because we were like, oh no, Gloria is like, she's from Ireland.
royalty,
Like, we
yeah.
had
Yeah,
it.
she
We had
is.
it. Get
And
her.
she was just so lovely.
She was lovely.
And then
Ross King was lovely.
Ross King was so
And
nice.
He was watching Sarah on set, and when I came and I was standing there waiting for me to go on, he was there, and I said to him, "Can I get my photo with you?" And then he said, "I have been sitting listening to your sister, and she is amazing." So he was really lovely as well.
He was so lovely. Mm-hmm. This is what I noticed. They all had time for us.
They did.
Like, they
we were
really-
spoiled rotten.
And like really listened. And I do realise the Death Cafe is something that everyone seems really intrigued about.
Yeah.
They're very intrigued.
Really intrigued.
Because they've never come across it. I know it's not like a popular thing
Yeah.
across the country, but is it because they've never heard of it?
Yeah.
Or-
Very much so.
Yeah, and just I think because I suppose we talk about it quite freely and quite openly. And then it was just, and it was nice because that is a really good conversation starter as well. So that when we did start talking to, different celebrities and they'd ask what the charity was about, it's a good to lead in with that, really. Because I think when you say things like palliative care, incurable illness, it freaks people out. And
But
not
so
that
does-
Death Cafe doesn't,
But I think when you you quickly explain it quickly
Yeah.
afterwards, don't you? You follow up very quickly
Yeah.
from, I know that sounds very scary, but it's absolutely not. And this
Yeah.
is what we do.
Yeah.
And there's cards. And then you've really...
see, they're
you've got
drawn
their
in.
they're very
Totally.
drawn in. But going back to the ceremony, so I wasn't allowed to go, and I wasn't even going to be allowed to be in the location. I was told, no, it's a separate location. Sarah will be whisked away. You'll sort of have to mosey about London until Sarah's ready to go back.
Yeah,
And I was thinking, oh my God, I can't even be in the same location. And Louise, I had mentioned Daisy as well, mind, and she did say, oh, leave it with me. After Louise did the filming all day and listened to everything that was said and got to know me a bit better and stuff as well. And I'd said to her, oh, Louise, I still can't believe, mind, I'm not allowed to go to the ceremony. I said, and I'm not doing it from a selfish point of view. I just really would love to be there with Sarah. And I said, but it is what it is. And the main thing is she's getting everything that she deserves. And, that's it. And then Louise, I think, went away and had a think. And she phoned me the next day and she says, I was thinking about what you were saying. And she said, we've had other women that's won this over the years. She said, but actually, Sarah's different in the fact that she has got an incurable illness. She's not a particularly well girl. And she really probably shouldn't be going there on her own, even from a duty of care point of view. She said there's two things. She says, duty of care, we need to provide that. But the other thing is, she said, and bless her, you have run this project so well behind the scenes. She said, you've made our jobs so easy. There's nothing you haven't thought about. There's nothing you haven't, even preempted.
Yeah.
And she said, you deserve to be there with your sister.
Yay!
And I was like, oh my God. And we had just come out of a hospital appointment with you, and it wasn't a particularly good one. And I was sort of just lying on the sofa. I didn't want to talk to anybody. And it was one of them times I was like ITV, and I thought, and then
I don't want to project manage the day.
I was just like, I just need to lie here and, and then I said to her, I can't believe you're phoning me with this news. It was really needed today.
Yeah.
And then Sarah and I got to go there and have the time of our lives.
Oh my God, it was so much fun.
If you had to describe it in like 3 words, what would your 3 words be? The event.
Oh God,
It's
that's
really hard, Nikki.
Well, I'm coming to you. You've got to get your thinking cap on. 3 words.
Empowering. Privileged.
Oh.
And
Is anything different?
memorable.
So empowering, why?
Because of the woman that I met. Oh my God, my mind was blown.
Same.
And the people that approached me to talk to me, and how the honesty in the room, just the atmosphere was so special. It was charged in a way that I've never been in a room where it's been like. It was full of powerful women. Like, and I mean, you could feel it. And one of the girls who we were along with quite a bit through the day, and she was Alison Hammond's Woman of the Year, and it was in engineering. And Jazz, she was unreal. And she got up, and in part of her speech, she basically said, do you know what's different about this room? That everyone's listening, because it's women that's in the room. And we're all listening, and we all care about what's being said. We're taking it all in and on board. And that was a real moment of, wow. But just looking around you there was, I don't know how many people actually were in the room. I think 400 people.
400 women.
400 women and power.
Amazing.
I mean, it was powerful. We met the first Red Arrow, female Red Arrow. We met the first black cricketer. Like, just
female, which played
Was
for the
this
Welsh team, I think, but she's really brought on. She's done coaching.
yeah.
So I think the biggest thing for me was, it wasn't just that these women are doing the most amazing things. It is how they are empowering the young females coming behind them, and what they're putting their time into helping bring them along. And I love that.
That's amazing, because people need to, that you need to have the role models, and you need to see
And
the
they need
behaviours and the way people
They
carry
also
themselves.
need to be able to identify and
Yes.
see people like themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's like why it was so important. Like the way they worded it was the first woman of colour to be like in a
Male dominated. No?
no, it was in like she played for, I don't think it was England, I think it was the Welsh cricket team, but like the professional Welsh. Do you know what I mean? So all these women though, and then we met like a beef eater. I didn't really understand what that was, but I think it's like a King's Guard.
Yeah. And even that, she was like, come, bring your family. Come and see us. Come into the Tower of London. We'll show you around. It was how kind everybody was. How, like, just the feeling in the room. And, like, I keep laughing because one of the moments that will really stick out in my mind is when Carol Vorderman handed Joanne her phone and said, take a photo on my phone of me and Sarah.
She did.
And I was really like, wow.
And she's posted it.
And she's posted it on her
You've gotta
page.
love
It just,
Carol
and she just
She
was so
beautiful.
lovely.
I think growing up, seeing her like on countdown and
Countdown.
everything, and she's so lovely in real life.
Yes.
But mind, I found that with all the celebrities. And I said to you, I don't know, many times through that day, because our friend Emma had said this, girls, remember, it's like your wedding day, take a moment to take it all in. I had so many moments where we were sat at that award ceremony where I was going, I'm really taking this in.
Can you remember the feeling?
I can.
Yeah.
I don't. So Sarah has give the best 3 words for how to describe that day, because I would totally agree with you. And the only other way I can say it is supported, unforgettable.
Yeah.
And then I can't give you, but the one thing I kept saying was, I wish I could bottle
Yes.
this feeling, because there was no competitiveness in the room. There was 400 women
Celebrating
supporting
each other.
and celebrating
Yeah.
each other, and I don't think I have ever felt what I felt that day in a room, and I will never forget it as long as I live.
It was
And
unreal.
actually, you walk away feeling so empowered. And I just kept sitting going, my sister's one of these. My sister is one of these women.
Well, no, but so are you.
Well,
Exactly.
Like, you know, you were there for a reason as well, you know? And actually, because of you, you were in the room.
Yeah.
And won. Like, you're the one that kind of turned the key on the whole thing.
well, maybe, but I was just like, there was 10 awards. Sarah was the second last. And the awards were all for very different things, like educational and the engineering one. I can't remember all the categories, but some of them were very specific awards. There was a lady that won one, and hers was move. They were all moving in their own ways, but this lady had lost her Sunday meningitis, and that was
She was on just before me, and it was really...
it was sad. Her son Felix, he couldn't understand why anybody in the world had to starve. So she lost him really quickly. He got meningitis, and within hours he was dead, and it was a terrible shock to her. So she had to do something in his memory. So they go around, I think, the supermarkets and stuff, and they get the end of the day food and they redistribute it, you know, to people that don't have anything.
Yeah.
So hers was lovely as well.
it was really harrowing.
But I'm not just saying this because it's Sarah, but Sarah's was the most heartfelt in the room because Sarah's facing so much challenge in her life with your incurable illness, and she is the person it's happening to, but she is doing all these wonderful things for all these other people throughout the charity and your interactions on a day-to-day basis. And I think that that's what felt so different. You had the person right in front of you.
The person's there doing the
It's
thing.
you.
Yeah.
When the VT was played and when Sarah was on the stage, I was looking around and the women were just freely and
Bawling their eyes out, basically.
really crying.
But before that, Alison Hammond had come over around our table because we'd been talking to her before we went on, and she was just...
Sarah, wasn't it? Because we met her first, got the photo.
And she was literally, you know, the way she goes on the TV and she's like, all right, Babs. That's the way she was. She was just like...
But I said to her, oh, we'd love to be on your table because you're really good crack. She was like, I'll come and see you. You know the way you wouldn't...
She
the
did.
interval happened.
She was over.
She was straight over at our table.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
but
it
you
was
do,
that.
you do attract a lot of attention and a lot of people.
Christine Lampard.
She
come
said,
on,
I
made a
seen you on
beeline.
Lorraine this morning and I thought I can't wait to get on and meet them.
She did. She made
So it
a
was
beeline for
lovely.
the two of us, and me and her were going, "Geez, this is mad."
It was mad, but Alison was like, well, Sarah, you got your speech already? I was like, no. And she was just
I
going
had
to me.
second-hand anxiety and
Nikki,
nerves.
they get all,
So
each one
people
got
would
up.
have expected you to have like a...
Them women were
Prepped.
up with cue cards, with, you know, they were really prepped.
So what's going through your mind at that
Statistics of
point?
I wonder what's going to come out of my mouth.
I'm sitting, but this is what she's saying, because I'm going to her. I'm trying not to make her extremely nervous, but I'm watching all these women, and I am going, because the day before I said to her, we were in the hotel, and I was like, Sarah, I know that you don't like to prepare too many things. It's not the way you are, but have you got some things jotted down? Maybe it's just a few things on my notes. And I was like, Sarah, do you want to maybe try and do some, like, let's do some? And she was like, no, Joanna, don't, because I just don't like that, because then I overthink it and it'll not be natural. And I was like, right, I'm not going to push this because this is what she wants, and that's fine. But when every one of them women got up and they
had all their
had
statistics
and
Did
they
that
used
bother
that
you?
podium,
Did it bother you seeing them with their cue cards? Were you thinking, oh, actually...
I could barely look at her.
I was a bit
"Ah."
like, oh, I've really gone the opposite direction with this, where I thought people were going to be like, thanks.
Yeah.
And then I just had to have a word with myself. But generally, I woke at 3:30 that morning, and I knew if I went back to sleep, I'd be really groggy. So I ended up that I kind of just lay there, and I was like talking to my fella in my head. And my main thing was, I really want to enjoy this day, and I don't want nerves to overtake how special this is, and I don't want it to ruin it for me, basically. So I was just like saying to my fella, go and be with me today and help me with that. And so I kind of did the same with the speech. I just thought, do you know what? Whatever's meant to be said is going to come out of my mouth. And I mean, I was on a wing and a prayer. I was
When she
literally
got
like,
when she got up, And she got her award and everything, and then she stood in front of the podium and she went, "Hello!" I was like, "Oh, this is her. This is just her all over."
But you
she
could have heard a
pulled it
pin
off.
drop.
She totally pulled it off.
But that's what I was going to say earlier. So, you know that moment of when Emma was like,
Take your moment.
take your moment.
Yeah.
My brain decided to do it on stage. So I literally went, I was mid-talk and everyone was looking at me and I was like, my brain was like,
She did. I knew what she was doing. I was like, "Nah, why was she
soaking it in?
Why is she taking her moment now?" But you did. You were like, "Wow."
what?
But you know, this is why I think people. I'm not saying they wouldn't have engaged with you anyway. They would have, but it was because you were so real, so humble, so down to earth, just like but really talking about how grateful you were and how you never thought that you would ever be standing up there
Not in a million years.
doing, and that's what you said.
But how did it feel like when you're standing on the stage looking out at 400 of these very
Carl
empowering,
Vorderman's in your
amazing-
eye line.
Yeah. There's all of these famous faces, and you're up there. Like, how did it feel?
It was unreal, honestly. It's a moment in life that I'll never, ever forget.
Yeah.
It's such a precious memory. And I think as well that what we talked about, that energy in the room, that gets you through it as well. And you can see, and even Mel, I can't say her surname properly, Goodrich,
Comedian. Yeah.
she, like, every time she did, like, an introduction, she just sat on the step. So she was, like, nearly by my feet as well. And I think things like that make you a little bit more...
Comfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's normal.
And you do feel very supported, and
You do.
like you can feel
Yeah.
it. You can feel it coming off the women.
But I did my normal thing that I do, where in my head I thought, oh, everybody's had enough of listening to me now. So I ended quite abruptly. I was kind of mid talking about the death cafes, and then my head went, just shush now. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to talk anymore.
She
And
was
then
just like, "I'm not going to stand up here and keep going on." Whereas everybody was holding on to her every
when I
word. And I
came
was looking at her.
off,
I was like, don't stop now."
someone came up to me afterwards and said, for me, yours was the best speech and you're the best dressed. And I was like, oh, thanks.
Everybody complimented you on the
Everybody
dress. and it
loved
was
the
so
dress.
fun.
Tell us about the
Because it
dress.
was all
That
the
dress
stars.
was like gone for you.
Do you know, I hung it on the outside of my wardrobe so that I could just look at it and
You got
remember.
to take it home, obviously.
Got to
and
take
now
it
it's
home,
like-
and my shoes and my earrings and the handbag.
Everything.
Nice.
She got everything,
Oh.
and so did I.
And
Yeah.
you kept,
And what was fabulous as well, the very two first things that Mark chose for Sarah and I, and they
what
were
we
the
wore?
first things that we tried on,
Yeah.
and it is what we both wore on the day. He is that good.
Oh, he is that
He-
good.
he is that
and
good.
we
He is so
enjoyed
good.
that day so much.
The
Like,
crack with him,
Oh.
Mark and Ellie.
we went into the room with all the clothes and it really wasn't, it was quite small. And Joanne was like, oh, I want to do, for socials, I told everybody. And she was like, I'll just try and
I know.
I'll just try and get a photo of you. And we were like, yeah. Ellie went to step back to move out of the way and she fell into a box. Well, we were howling. And then she was like, and all the time I've worked here, this has never happened to me. And Joanne was like, yeah, it's the Joanne and Sarah effect.
I was like, welcome to the Joanne and Sarah.
And that kind of
that
set
was
the tone. And
Yeah.
so then it just kind of went to
And then
to
I
being
got
great.
later on. So the more Ellie was quite, shy to begin with,
Yeah.
and then the more she got the measure, me and Sarah, she kept coming
She
out of her
really
shell,
did.
and I got stuck or something in one of the outfits I tried on, and she was sitting, and I says, "Ellie, you think you would get up and do your job and help me instead of just sat there?" So the crack we had.
It was so
And then
good.
she was like, "You two, I think are my favorite people that we've ever
But honestly,
dressed."
but she's not the only one to say that. There's so many other stories of people saying the exact same thing.
So
About it just being the
loads.
best, most fun day with you two.
So I started my speech too by thanking Joanne first.
Yeah.
Because that had to be the way that it was, because she's the reason I was standing up there.
But Sarah, you know what was really hard too? Because they played the VT, so the VT that
Yeah.
you've all seen on the Monday when she got surprised, and me and Sarah sat there, and that, how it ends, they totally, I had watched everything all day, and then the very last, like everybody else doing there, and found it really emotional. And I just had to stand and watch our Brian do his part, which was really emotional for me. And then they're like, right, do you want to your turn? And I'm standing on the beach, and there's people going up and down with surfboards and buggies and wheelchairs. And I was thinking, I wish I had done it in Sarah Star, where it was quiet and peaceful. This was really distracting. The wind's blowing my hair. And I was like, oh my God. And when I first went to go on, I started to shake, and then I was like, oh, I thought I was going to be all right. No, I don't know if I am. Anyway, they asked me the questions, but the very last question they said to me was, and finally, Joanne, what does Sarah mean to you? And totally got me. And you can actually see the moment on the VT where you see me nearly like have to take a breath. And then I'm like, the VT ends on that, and that is something you and I think both find very emotional to watch. So they just played that out into the room.
And then I had to
And then me and Sarah's like, I'm ugly crying and all. And then they're like, so Sarah, come up and collect your word. I thought,
Did you have that momentary panic of, I think I'm going to bawl my eyes out because of that,
well,
but
we
I need to go and do this?
Crying, we were.
Because that lady who was on before had lost her 14-year-old
Well,
son,
that's
and
the
I've
thing,
got a
so that's-
14-year-old too. So it
so
was
we were
like a
ready.
build-up. And I said to Joanne, like the VT got me in such a different way that time in that room, because you could feel that everybody felt it. I was like, that could have been a time where I could have laid down and just cried my eyes out. And I don't do that. Do you know what I mean?
I was just thinking you never do that though.
So it was...
Why does that always happen, me and you, at the most inappropriate times, by the way?
Why would you stand up on a stage in front of 400 people and decide I'm going to take... This will be my moment to take everything in.
But Sarah's such a you thing.
I know. It's like I need everybody to know what a dickhead I really am.
No, you're just like, wow. Like, see, you don't like
I
a child.
literally am.
You don't like a child seeing something sparkling. Wow.
Yep. And I know.
No, you weren't like that. Not really, but I knew. I was like, I want to kill her. I know what she's doing. But you know what was so lovely? Afterwards, the many people come up to me and Sarah and said, I have a sister. You two have nearly killed me.
And
I have
sister goals. Someone said hashtag sister goals, and then people were just coming. We saying really lovely things about how close we are, and then talked about their own sister. And some people talked about, not having a sister, but not really having a sister, and
how they would like to change that. And they also, I think the difference as well with Sarah, and the reason it was so hard in the room and people got so emotional, is because cancer affects everybody.
I know it does.
Everybody has their own story, doesn't it? And I think that there were so many people that wanted to speak to Sarah afterwards. There was a lot of doctors and surgeons and all kinds of people. Someone in palliative.
There was someone who worked in palliative care who came over to me, and she said, she got quite upset, and she said, you've given me hope. She said 6 years in and out of palliative care. She said, I don't think I've ever known that. She was like, you've really given me hope. Wow. And I was so like, oh my God. But you know what? I really need to say this, because this has been amazing for me. All of that was just out of this world. But yesterday I got 2 messages that made me really, really happy. And the first one was from our lovely friend Catherine Clark. Her daughter Lucy would come into Sarah Star and do some volunteering. And Catherine was telling her all about the award ceremony and what's been going on. And Lucy was loving it. And I think it's different when you know the person, isn't it? And then she said to Catherine, I am going to write my personal statement for university about Sarah Star and how it's changed what I want to do in my career. And I want to study neuroscience so that I can help make new treatments. And like, I was just totally like, oh my God.
What?
Like that, for me, was huge.
And that's those young females coming up behind you.
Well, I think that's what I thought, because the whole day at that Woman of the Year event, I just kept thinking, Alice would thrive here. I've brought her up a feminist.
So many females.
And to be in that room was so precious to me, and to feel all of that. And then when Catherine sent that message, and I said to her, am I allowed to talk about it on the podcast? I was like, because this for me is huge. And then Sharon messaged me saying in Dubai, they've just gone back to school after half term. And she had year 13s and she was like, there's not
Sharon
much.
was a must that day, by
Sharon
the way.
was a
Sarah's
must.
other best friend, Sharon.
Yeah. And she said that they were having Pink Week, which is breast cancer awareness. And she said, so they, increase the awareness of it. She says, I told me year 13's a little bit about you. And she says, all the eyebrows raised and the ears pricked.
You
And
said
she-
too they were off school for a week,
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
they? And
They
they
were
were
on half
really
term.
groggy and they weren't feeling it.
She said a Monday morning, nobody was feeling it. And she said, you should have seen
The
how
change.
different it was. And I thought, see, that's what's beautiful about these moments and sharing these moments.
Do you know what else I think is absolutely beautiful? So obviously you and I's been away from home a long time. I'm away 27 years, you're away 25.
Mm-hmm.
See the ripple effect this has had back home. Amongst
It's amazing.
our
So what's been happening?
Oh.
Strabane.
our town is so proud of Sarah.
Strabane is buzzing. It's so
I keep seeing
lovely.
on Facebook all of these
Yeah.
like Strabane Gazette or whatever.
Oh, and everybody's sharing
Strabane
it. It's in the
Weekly,
Chronicle,
Strabane
it's in the
Chronicle.
Weekly, it's in the Tyrone magazine,
that
it's
was
in
hard.
one of Belfast's magazines or newspapers. It's just
Belfast Live.
yeah.
And do you know what was fabulous? So our friend Emma Slater, she prepared press releases, thank God in heaven she did.
She was
because
amazing.
I will tell you what, it was so difficult. We were so tired the next
Yeah.
day, and for me to have to get up and get straight on it and try and get, I couldn't have functioned well enough to sit to write something properly.
yeah.
And Emma had those things prepared, and it was just a wee bit of tweaking.
Yeah, she's
And
a
we
godsend.
Yeah, she
It
is.
was a godsend, and we were able to get them straight on, follow with some of the photographs. So then, because this was the Tuesday, the Strabane Weekly comes out on the Wednesday, the Chronicle comes out on the Thursday, and she made it on both weeks.
Yeah.
They did the first week of the surprise and followed up in the second week, and that was amazing.
It
that
was
we were
really
able to do
lovely.
that. And then the Newcastle Chronicle picked it up, the Northumberland Gazette, the Belfast Live. So she
Yeah.
ended up. So it was brilliant that we managed to get, reach that much
Yeah,
reach.
it was really lovely.
And then just all the messages we've had,
Oh,
both
beautiful.
personally and on all over social media, from all the people we know back home and just the town in general. And then, of course, all the people we know over here.
Yeah.
So we are so well
Well,
supported.
actually, Lorraine said as well, she was like, so many friends.
She kept
So
saying
many
that.
family and friends.
And they said you could literally, it's like they could feel the energy, love and support in the room that
Through the
day.
camera, yeah.
They loved the feel of it all, and like
Yeah.
we spoke to a lovely lady, Emma, from ITV, and she was fabulous, and she was very complimentary about the whole thing as well. Lorraine Kelly had her mum there, which was lovely as well.
It was really lovely.
And Rhea.
Rhea.
missed out. She was meant to present the show, but she really hurt her back and she wasn't able to be there. And then when she watched it back, she had the most horrendous FOMO. So she couldn't wait to meet Sarah and I, and we got
We
on
had
so well with Rhea
Teresa,
and
we
Lindsay.
Laughed
Follow up.
so much.
Rhea and Lindsay, and we really laughed. And when she found out that we were in the karaoke, she was like, "You are my kind of girls." So we've agreed if ever we're in London or there in Newcastle, we're all going to the karaoke.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And Mark wants to go as
Mark
well.
wants
And I want to come.
Oh, 100%.
Definitely.
I'll
I
tell you
definitely
what
need to
was-
brush up my karaoke skills. I was shite.
Listen,
Is anybody really good?
I know, is that not the point of it, where you're like there because
You're surprisingly good at karaoke. 'Cause someone gave you the mic, and then when you expect someone's singing voice to sound a certain way, but yours didn't. It was like you flipped into this alter ego, and she's on, it was just really good.
My David really just kept
David was
surprising me.
hilarious.
David's really quite introverted, and he was rapping. I would know, carrying on
Yeah.
at home, I would know that he would rap and stuff jokingly, but he was doing Warren G and all, him and Jolene, and
very
it was
funny.
hilarious. It was just really funny. It was such a lovely little night.
It was.
But the whole experience we've had over the
been
last
unreal.
2 weeks.
And what was really beautiful, before Lorraine left, she came over and said, if you need anything, you get in touch with me.
She did.
And I thought, you know what? It was over. She didn't have to say that.
She didn't. You're
Do
Do you know
right.
what I mean? And I thought that as well was so special. And the people who checked on, and everybody
Everybody
wanted
was
to
lovely.
talk, and it was just really, really beautiful. And I met a lovely lady who came over and she said, I'm in a similar situation to you. And it was just a really poignant
Was that
moment for
Sally
me.
Orange? No.
No, she said, She said 2 years ago. No, she said they give me 2 years to live. And that was 3 years ago. And I was like, you are my kind of woman.
Did I get your photo with her? Because I was trying to get her photo with everybody.
Yes, because then she went, but I want it. And then she came back with her phone.
Yes.
It seems to
right.
have been. Everyone wanted to give
was
their
really
share the
nice.
photos
Honestly,
of them.
Because
that
you know when
was
you're
so
like,
lovely.
Yeah.
we wanted the photos, obviously. But then when they were in turn saying, because Dame Kelly
Dame
Holmes,
Kelly Holmes,
Yes.
yes.
she was so lovely. And we ended up chatting for ages. And she was like, you really remind me of my mum. Because her attitude was very similar to
Yeah.
yours. And her mum died from breast cancer.
Oh,
So I think the fact that people shared them really personal
They did.
parts as well, because it was just that, again, that was the feel of the day. There was a lot of honesty.
There
and
was. I
beauty.
didn't feel like people were holding back at all. And even when we met Lucy Punch, so Sarah and I love Motherland, Amandaland, like really always in our friendship group, we always think we're those mums.
Yeah.
And you always know the Amanda mum and all the rest. So I was going to Sarah, oh my God, Lucy Punch is over there. And I was like, Sarah, we have got to get her photo, like the girls will die.
But me and her went
But
all funny
it's
then.
wild
Both of us were like,
hard.
are you going to
Like,
ask her?
see Alison Hammond.
What nerves kicked in?
See Alison Hammond, no bother. I was like,
Yeah.
Alison, can I please get your photo? This is Lorraine Kelly's Woman of the Year.
Yeah.
I was able to do it, no problem, with some of the celebs, but there were some of them I was going,
Yeah, it's hard.
I don't think I can do it. I was going, Sarah, I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
So this is the other thing. If she'd have been there by herself,
I
Sarah's
probably
not
wouldn't
like
have done
this
it.
anyway. No,
Oh, we wouldn't have had half the thousands of photos.
I know,
it was
definitely
easier.
not.
It was definitely easier for me to go, can I get your
Yes.
photo
Yeah.
with, rather than Sarah having to go push herself, because I
Yes,
was having to
of
take
course.
deep breaths.
Yeah.
And I'm confident, like, but I was going, I don't think I can do it. And I was going to Sarah, I don't think I can do it, Sarah. And I was like, no, I'm going to do it. So I went over and I was like, hi, I'm really sorry to interrupt, because obviously we're women. We're always talking.
Yeah.
So they're always in groups talking. I was like, Lucy, can I please get your photo with Lorraine Kelly's Woman of the Year? She was like, of course. Then we start talking. Then she really wants to know all about the death cafes. Then I start to get bolder and I'm like, so, Lucy, after the success of Motherland, were you really
Want to start
nervous?
interviewing her?
I know. I did think, who am I? I was like, were you really nervous bringing out Amandaland? Because I'm not going to lie, when I heard that it was coming, I was a bit like, ooh, I don't know how that's going to land. And I said, but we absolutely loved it. I said, but were you nervous? And she was like, so nervous. And I was like, and we love the fact that Irish Anne's back in it.
But it was funny too, because she went, come on, ladies, we all know an Amanda.
She did.
And the fact that she said that, and it was so lovely. And then it was like she didn't want to stop talking to us. We got moved then onto our
We
tables.
had to go on.
And we had to like move, but she was really like forthcoming, chatting.
Well, it sounds like
normal.
you've made an
really nice.
impact.
We try to get to speak to as many celebrities as we can. I wanted the photos with Sarah, just constantly thinking about raising the profile.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's how special it was.
Well, it's certain, like you said, one of your three words you thought memorable, and you said as well
Yes.
unforgettable. Didn't you?
I will never, as long as I live.
Well, you couldn't.
It's,
It's
One of the best
it's
days
one
of
of
my
the
life.
best days of our lives. We talked about that. We really did. And we probably could have stayed the second night. There was an offer of, but Sarah really wanted to go home to see Chris and the kids. So we did come back that night, and we were exhausted.
Yeah.
I bet you were.
Exhausted.
I bet you were. Well, listen, I've got a final question for you, and it's about. It's a bird. What kind of bird is it? Is it an
I don't know.
eagle?
It's a special
It's
bird.
an
It's a
eagle.
trailblazing.
It's a woman of the year.
That's a trailblazer. So what does the award? Go on. What does the award actually mean to you? What does it mean that you've won Woman of the Year?
Oh my God, it's like out of this world. It means everything. It means that my little dream from years ago is not only a reality, but it's made an impact that big that I got a Woman of the Year award. What the fuck?
Tom, please give us a round of applause for Sarah. Honestly, yes. Can you remember, how many years ago was it where you were having the backwards and forwards, to and fro, like I want to do this, but I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I've got the confidence. And you knew what you wanted.
Yeah.
Like you knew what it would be all about, but there was definitely
I think it was 2020,
I was about to say that.
towards the end of the year. Yeah.
but just meaning that like there was something that was stopping you
Yeah.
from a confidence point of view of going, right, I'm actually going to do it, and I'm just going to get started, which you obviously overcame.
Well, it was, you said to me, what's more important? What people might say about you or think about you, or doing what it is you really want to do.
So here's a question then: if there's someone watching,
Oh, 1,000,000% do it.
if there's someone
Always
watching,
do
so
it.
if you're watching, or share this with your friends or your family, children, whatever. If you're listening to this and thinking there's something that I really want to do, but I don't think I've got the confidence, I'm not sure if it's ever going to work. Take Sarah's advice. What would your advice be?
Yeah, just take the leap. Do it. Because you're never going to know, and you don't want that regret in your life. Because life's too short.
Boom!
We're not winning again.
It has to end, Curtis. It's an hour and a half.
Well, it was intended to be a special, and we've made it a very great special. I hope that you've enjoyed it. Please do join me and everybody else in saying a massive congratulations to Sarah on being the woman of ITV's Woman of the Year, Lorraine Kelly's Woman of the Year, Trailblazer. And a massive thank you to Joanne for making the whole thing possible and
1,000,000%.
getting yourself out there and putting that nomination in.
And project managing,
Yeah,
contingency planning.
yeah, and being military precision to make sure it all happened. And thank you to all the family, all the family and friends who kept their mouth shut when Sarah was
Well done.
And came and supported even from wherever they were.
Yeah. And thank you to ITV, thank you Mark, thank you Lorraine, thank you Izzy, Louise, everybody.
Everyone. I know.
The list does go on.
So beautiful.
All the crew.
It does go on. So if you've got any questions in particular for Sarah, please stick them in the comments. She would love to hear from you. We would all love to hear from you. So thank you for listening. And if you've stayed all the way till the end, I hope you've enjoyed it. We're sending lots of love. We're going to have a little celebration here and we'll look forward to seeing you soon. Okay?
Yeah. Bye.
See you soon. Bye. Hi, and welcome to this super special bonus episode of... I've forgotten.
The podcast.
Right.
Go for it.
Okay, amazing.
Sarah, stop it. She's in that mood today. Okay.
Is that your Woman of the Year face?
Yes.
Yeah.
Your camera, Nikki.
Right, okay. Amazing. Right.
Is that
Three.
It's yours as well.
Yeah, I was thinking I'm happy.
It's mine. I've got my own. All eyes on me.
What about my loser face?
I loved your lizard face. You'll have to show Haywood afterwards.
Lost, guess.
Robbed.
Right. 3, 2, 1. Are we ready? We're ready. Right.